Tail, tops, and accessories, oh my! It just started raining, so ignore that background sound. Welcome back to another Mermaid Monday where we talk about everything mermaid. Today we are talking about my mermaid tail collection. This is the second video into this series, so if you want to see the entire playlist, I will link it in the description below. So today I'm talking about all of my mermaid tails, and from oldest to newest. So I physically don't have all of my tails with me. Some of them are in Florida, one is in North Carolina. So for the purpose of this video, I won't be showing you up close and personal videos of them. I will show you videos of me swimming in them or wearing them, or show you photos of them, but I won't have them physically here with me. So my first ever tail I actually got because I had been saving up and I raised pigs and I would sell them in the county fair every year, and I would usually get about $1,000 or so, a little bit under. So with that money, I bought my first ever commercial silicone tail. It was a Mertailor Basic. It's red. Here's a video of me swimming in it. So I really enjoyed this tail. The benefits that I loved about it, it is no longer made, but I really did enjoy the fact that it was neoprene on the inside and silicone on the outside. So you still have that silicone appearance while it is a little bit cheaper than a full silicone. I did not like the monofin inside of it. It did give me blisters. I'm not sure what kind of monofin it was, and it was like kind of tearing through the neoprene a little bit, and you can kind of see the monofin through it. But this tail is actually still in use. I leave it in Florida so that way my mermaid friends and company can continue to use it for birthday parties to come. And it is about 4 years old now, so that's actually really good for a tail to be lasting without hardly any damage. So my second silicone tail is actually my green Ariel tail. This is the video that you see me swimming as a little mermaid in all the time. It is all of my viral videos. It is all of that fun stuff. This tail was my Little Mermaid cosplay / birthday party tail. It was super tight, and unfortunately I outgrew it, but it's still one of my favorite tails to this day. This is a discontinued tail from Mertailor when he was making the full silicones. Now he has a Spellbound line which pretty much combined like the full silicone and the basic tails. So the monofins in the new tails are monofinless, and the skins are lined with scuba knit. So he took the best things about each of these tails and combined them into one, so he no longer makes either of those, but that was my second tail, and it's pretty lovely. It hasn't really scraped too often. You could see a little bit like in the ankles and area where the paint has kind of faded just because of like wear and tear. It did have a monofin strap break inside of it though, but luckily my friend Haley at Made by a Mermaid had fixed it. She does do tail repairs. If anybody ever needs their tail to be repaired and they don't have the supplies for it, I recommend emailing her and asking her rates to fix it, because you will get it done a lot faster than if you send it back to your tail maker, because at least with Mertailor, I know he's super busy. I know Finfolk's super busy, so sometimes they just don't have time to fix tails, and I don't feel like I'm skilled enough to fix it myself. So that was my second tail. So it has hardly any damage or anything. It's still pretty good. So the next tail that I got was the Mertailor Eco line. This one is also discontinued in favor of his Whimsy line and Guppy line. So I won't be talking about it too much, but I did not like the monofin. It had the Finis, I think Aquarius monofin, which I do not like. It kept slipping off of my ankles and the monofin just wouldn't stay on. So I ended up giving that one to my cousin, who then enjoyed it for herself. So the tail after that, my first ever Finfolk fabric tail, and this tail I did not like. I didn't have the right monofin for it, and this was before Finfolk put on their website of what monofins they recommend. So I quickly sold it and got a Mermaid Fantasy one with the skin. This was when I was still kind of wearing the red tails, so I had like the black hair and everything. And I mean, it swam pretty fine, but it wasn't quite sturdy enough for the ocean water. And it just floated, because silicone floats in the ocean way more than in like the springs. So for me, it was hard to stay under, and you can kind of see in some of my videos where I'm kind of struggling to swim because I kept floating. So I didn't really wear that one too much because, again, it was kind of hard to swim and I only really used it in the pool. But Mermaid has since then made two more different fantasy fins that are larger, and they will act more like a Spellbound tail, which leads me to my next tail. This tail is my Spellbound tail. This one is the blue and green one that you've seen pictures of me swimming in. It's one of my more recent tails. I got this one to replace the Ariel one because, again, I outgrew it. And that one is currently in surgery. It did have a seam pop on near my ankles one day. I'm not sure what caused it. I was pretty upset about it, but I posted in the Mermaid group, and a bunch of people and Eric all gave me really good advice for fixing it. However, I don't really have access to all of the supplies, and I could buy them online, but I also feel like I don't have the right skill set to fully fix it the correct way to really hold it. So I did ship that tail to Haley as well, and she is currently fixing that one. I do like the way that it flows in the water. It is too heavy for me to lift over my head, which is a bummer, but you know, that's what you get when you have a fluke full of silicone. It's big fluke problems. So that is my Spellbound tail. And then after that, I got a Finfolk fabric again, but this time in better colors, and I had the right monofin to fit it. With this one, I don't really like the way it swims as much, but it is gorgeous for photos. So if you ever want to get a Finfolk tail, I suggest for photos more than swimming. If you want a pretty swimming tail or photography fabric tail, I would go with Mermaid's ones. They just swim better anyways. But for photography, I do love the look of Finfolk tails, and I like them for birthday parties. So for this tail, I got it and I took it to Virgin Gorda to what's called the baths, because it is a natural forming pools of water in these different caves made of granite boulders that are like stacked up and leaning against each other. So these big boulders are like leaning, and there's pools of water that you can visit. So you have to kind of hike through there, and I don't think I could have taken a silicone tail at all. So luckily I had that one and got to take plenty of photos with it. I definitely wore it, and then I later shipped it to Florida for other reasons that I'm not going to get too much into. The next tail that I got was the Made by a Mermaid tail skin to attach onto my Mermaid Ariel fluke. So I saw this fluke and I just knew I had to get it. So I got the fluke and asked Haley to make a skin for it. She asked Mermaid Ariel before I even bought the monofin, and she said yes, that we could do this. And so we did. And so far as my favorite tail, it's the one that I use mostly for my Mersona and everything. It comes beautifully. It is a little loose in my knees because I asked for it to be an inch or so bigger than I need to be, because in all of my tails they always squeeze my knees too tight to where my legs fall asleep and they hurt. So I asked for a little extra space there, so you can kind of see it, which sucks, but I kind of like my legs not falling asleep in the tail. The fluke is super light, so I can lift it over my head, which is super awesome and cute for photos. So you'll notice that in like a ton of my photos I'm always lifting my fluke over my head with it. That's because I can't do that in my other tails as much. I got that one in February. I started buying it in like October-ish, which is about the time that I got my Spellbound. So the look really came together. My colors ended up all matching accidentally, which is super cool. Maybe I'll tell you the story of my mermaid look one day, but for now, we're going on to the next tail. Recently, I bought a Mermaid Fantasy Fin 3 and a skin for it. I got the Magenta Lightning because it matches perfectly, and it reminds me a lot of the Finfolk one that I had to ship to Florida to differentiate myself from the others. So that is currently in Florida, waiting for me I couldn't ship it to a P.O. box, and that's all I have. I don't have a mailbox here. So it is at my mom's house. I will be doing an unboxing video this September, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then later on I will do a review as I normally do. And then finally I have my new Finfolk fabric tail. This tail is actually not even shipped yet. They had emailed me saying that the fins were sewn on wrong, and they asked me if they wanted me to fix, or if they asked me if I wanted them to re-sew it on in the correct place or just ship it to me. So I said I would like them sewn on to the right place. So it's gonna be a little while before I get that one, but I will get it nonetheless. So a total of tails that I currently own is about 6, because I did sell a few that I had. So the total is 6. I've had probably about 8 tails total throughout my lifetime as a mermaid, which has been 4 years. So in the past 4 years I've owned roughly around like 8 or 9 or so, which is pretty cool actually. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you really enjoyed this video of me talking about all of my mermaid tails. This has been a nice little Mermaid Monday. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified for new uploads. Next week we are going over my mermaid accessories, which is all of my crowns, necklaces, jewelry, bracers, all of that fun stuff. Make sure to follow me on all of my social media. Links are always down below. Let me know which tail is your favorite tail and why is that tail your favorite. My favorite, I have to say, is the Made by a Mermaid / Mermaid Ariel tail. That one is just so special to me, and I just love it so much. That's all I have for you guys today. I will see you next week. Mermaid kisses and starfish wishes.